What's going on, members of Shield? On this video, I'm gonna post about stats. Um, well, here we go. So basically, when you look at this, you see your Valor affects your crit damage. Your Resolve affects your maximum willpower, your willpower effectiveness. Resilience affects your armor. There's a thing right now that if you get 100% armor, your defense messes up and it's like it shows like negative on like where it says 41, 42. It'll show like negative, like all sorts of stuff. And basically you take no damage. It's god mode. It's fucking pathetic. But anyway, it depends on the character that you're using. Like if you see that I have 0 proficiency right now, this is just a build that I'm going for. Proficiency affects your critical chance and your perk chance. The perk chance affects the stuff like of my aggressive buff. Like right now, since I have 0 proficiency, let me just change something right quick. I know I got a proficiency somewhere. Proficiency, boom. Alright, so I put that on. My proficiency is now 56. My perk chance is 31.6. And now that aggressive buff went up by 1.5%. The next thing, where is that at? All right. So the next thing is pretty much the perks are the main thing. Stats, they help. It just really depends on your playstyle. Like right now I have a decent amount of range, but I don't really range on my Hulk. There is other things like, let's see here. Also, one of the things that are really weird that it really doesn't explain is if you look on the bottom where it says ultimate assault, support, heroic charge rate, and all of that, the numbers isn't affected there. But if you look at, where is it at? So your precision affects your heroic charge rate for your assault. Your resilience affects your support heroic charge rate. While as for your might affects your ultimate heroic charge rate. It, like I said, it doesn't show in the numbers, but we actually go into the champion points. And where is it? This also doesn't really change the number, I don't think. If it does, I've never really noticed. So 21, 14, 14. Okay, so that one does. But yeah, it's something to do with a visual glitch. Because might does affect it, it just affects it in the missions. Um, Valor, as you can see, also affects your crit damage. Let's see. When you're running something, it's mainly about stats, or not stats, but perks. Um, but the next thing is stats. If the stats are horrible and the perks are great, you pretty much need to find something better that has the stats that you're looking for on top of the gear perks that you already have. Like with this build, the only thing that could change from this would the might change to precision, because the build that I'm going for with Thor is a ranged build. But with the stuff that I have on, it's more of a melee, which was my original Thor build. I had back before the OLT came out, I had a signature attack build that melted bosses. But when the OLT came out, I changed to ranged, and pretty much melted the super adaptoid. Um, the faultless buff, for some reason, right now, only affects melee crits, even though that you could only find it on a ranged piece. The weird thing is, with Thor, it's really easy to proc. Just hold square, and that faultless buff will proc by the time your signature attack finishes. Right now, there's also a different little thing where the perk breaker is not actually working properly. Right now, it is only affecting the things that it's supposed to affect, because it says increases damage from gear perks. It's supposed to affect anything like the Odin Force Breaker, that 15% increased damage while Odin Force is active. It's supposed to change it to 215% in a game, just not on this perk. So when you use it, it's supposed to actually do a whole lot more damage, but for right now, for some reason, it's only affecting certain things and the payload. Where is it at? I know I have one. There it is, the pinpoint vibranium payload. It does not give a percentage on the vibranium payload, which is why it doesn't make sense of why it only affects certain things like this. Because if you actually look at it, increases damage from gear perks by 200%. It won't affect the damage buff because it doesn't give you a percentage of how much the damage buff gives. It also shouldn't affect that payload because it doesn't tell you how much of a percentage that it gives. So when they fix that, this will be the main artifact that everybody's going to go for. But like when that actually takes effect, my Hulk is going to be, broken 200%. That's 220% by taunted enemies. That is 225% additional damage to enemies afflicted by vibranium status. That's 220% increased damage while Bone Shaker is active. That is also when I get the Sonic Conduit, attacks infused with any status effects deal increased damage by 215%. It does not affect that rage, because it's a damage reduction, not a damage dealer. So that perk is only really supposed to affect things that are for like the aggressive might, but not the aggressive buff. Because it says a damage buff, but it doesn't give you a percentage of that damage buff. Like if you go to Miss Marvel, I don't have one for her yet, but I changed that. But it should work with this because it gives you a percentage. Now the only thing with Miss Marvel is that this piece does not affect her. It affects your team members, which makes Miss Marvel the ultimate support character. Also followed by Kate Bishop and her decoy with the raining orbs and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. So basically, if you have Kamala with a support build, a Kate with a support build, and a Hawkeye with a support build, it does not matter what character you're playing as in solo, you won't go down. Let's see, what else do I need to cover in this video? When you're doing the raid, Claw likes to use sonic attacks. So it's best to get like Scream Armor, Scream Immunity, things like that. Let's see, what else? It's that Fearless Stone would also affect that 25% damage from the polymorphic superiority. But right now, it's like something's going on with their things. It's fine. I can wait till it works. But on that note, my wife is calling, and that is the end of the video for right now. Hope it helps.